Alrighty, what's up? Jonathan here with Boston Collectors, and today's video is going to be all about Deathwatch Mandalorian. So, got two of these bad boys. They're going to look fantastic next to Beskar Mando, Heavy Infantry Mando, and the armor who I actually do have over here where I'm gesturing. Also, if you would like to see the review for Beskar Mando and Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, check those out up here. And if you're interested in the armor, I know a lot of people aren't. I get it. You know, she's not double jointed. She didn't come with a lot, but check out that review as well. So, jumping straight into it, a lot of people may not know because, you know, a lot of folks feel like, oh, the Clone Wars is a child show because of it being an animation. Me, I just never grew up on animation, so I'm not a big fan of it. However, I finally gave it a chance and I loved it. So, for my Clone Wars folks, you know where this started, all right? Shout out to y'all for knowing. And if you don't, and you know, you're just familiar with them from The Mandalorian, that's okay too. But they have a deeper history. Check out the Clone Wars if you would like to know more about them, because then who knows, you might get more than one, or it might prompt you to purchase one. Getting into the figure, or getting into the box rather, starting off with the band here, TMS 026 Deathwatch Mandalorian. This box is so freaking cool too. I'm a big fan of the photo being a bit more centered, but this looks great as well. We also have that really cool image of the figure. Both of these images are the figure. It's not from the show. I know it looks real. That's just Hot Toys. On the side here, that is also the figure. All right, looking really cool. And then here on the back, it's got a bit of wear for some reason, you know. I don't know, but it's got wear on it. I just pulled it out of the box. So we have the wear dunnets, warnings, all of that good stuff. The TMS number on the back there. This is a television masterpiece. We also have the TMS 026 Deathwatch Mando on the side. And then we're back to the front. Now, this box doesn't have the movie masterpiece, as you can see right here. For some reason, I just think that was an oversight on the armor. I don't know if they meant to do that. So let's go ahead and check out that art print. And we have the art print here. Again, it's very interesting how sometimes they just choose to go with one and not multiple. I feel like maybe there could have been one up here, one down here, maybe another one off to the side there, just to kind of make you feel like you may want to buy another one because they look cool together. I do feel like they should have maybe edited out that, let's see if we can bring it up, that little portion, because it just looks a little odd because you can't see the flame effects. But, you know, that's just me. Like the image, though. It looks really cool. So let's go ahead and let's get the guy out of the clamshell. Alrighty, so here he is in all of his glory. Again, I got two, so I'm already familiar with him. Hate to ruin it for you all, but I like to keep the plastic on it. Check this out. Together. Check this out. Wait, you don't want to? There we go. Look at that. That color is so good. Oh, man. I'm so glad because I've seen a couple people when they receive their orders, this visor is tucked in. I believe that happened with another content creator, TKS, who, if you haven't checked out his video, check it out up here. Check out his content. Super awesome dude. If you want to check out grills and unboxings and stuff like that, give him a shout. But I believe his visor was sort of curved in, and that's unfortunate, but look at that. Wow. This guy is freaking awesome. So, without further ado, let's be careful of that visor. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start the review. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and start with the base. You all know how I feel about this base. Ooh, it's kind of... ugh. It's not really finished there. Just kind of came off. Anyway, yikes. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this base. So, you know, they kind of pigeonhole you into forcing you to pose a certain way with those feet being like that. I wish that they would stop this. Again, there's going to be a video that's coming up soon. We're going to be talking about that. If you haven't watched the channel updates video, check that out. Deathwatch Mandalorian Star Wars on the front. Again, if you're not really a fan of these, you can always take them off, get them redone, maybe even put somebody else's name tag up there. It's totally up to you. And then it fits right back in. So again, we've seen this before, but there is one more thing that I want to point out. If you don't want to use the flight stand, you can pull this piece out and then you can put a crotch grabber, crotch cradler, whatever you want to call it. You can actually put that inside of here. Or if you're not into that, you can always take this out, put it back in, twist the flight stand on. Bob's your uncle. Speaking of the flight stand, we have it here. We're going to go ahead and start with the clamp first. This is a lot tighter than a lot of the clamps that I usually receive. So you're going to need a precision screwdriver though, in order to have the flight stand go through this hole here. You're going to have to loosen that up a bit and ease it into this. So speaking about the flight stand, again, remember when I said you're going to have to twist that in? Make sure it's on this way because it's not going on this way. Take this top off, ease that through through this particular portion of it. And then what you want to do is you want to tighten it as it's on the stand, or else it's going to fall down over time. Make sure you tighten it. We also have the instructions here. This is pretty straightforward. It lets you know how to apply the extra leg guard that we receive and the hands that work with the weapons, things of that nature. Next up, pegs, old glorious pegs. Again, for the accident-prone type, there you go. And then moving on to the hands here, as you can see, we have fists. Thank the heavens. We have fists. Again, for those of you who are familiar with the Clone Wars, y'all know that if they need to get into fisticuffs, hand to hand, they'll do it. I love it. And then last but not least, we also have trigger fingers. Again, one for that carbine-like rifle and then one for the pistols. So, I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? Pistol hands. And on the figure itself, you have relaxed hands. Gets no better than that. Speaking of weapons, check this out. Look at that detail in that. I ended up picking up an extra. I really had hoped that like this would cock back or something, but I'm not mad that it doesn't. I purchased an extra one though, because I want my second one dual wielding, and I'm also going to put him in a poncho. More photos on that soon, so stay tuned. But look at the detail in this. That looks incredible. I don't know, man. I feel like this looks better than Din Djarin's. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Love the wash on that. The battle damage there as well. Oof. Nice. And finally, we have that carbine rifle. I believe this is a carbine, right? I feel like it is. I love the make of this. I feel like this is one that Boba had. I don't own a Boba, at least not yet. I don't own the 40th anniversary or Mythos Boba, but I feel like this is the same one that he had. Look at the damage and the wear and tear in that stock. And then up here, oh my goodness. Again, I like that they go through and they sort of put the hole down there. Like, yes, there's a hard stop, but there's such a harsh shadow inside that you actually can't see it. But that looks so freaking good. Really, really like this. We also have that extra knee guard here. This is probably going to be the one that I use on this one. I want them to sort of look a bit, I don't want them to look similar, so I'm definitely going to use this one on this particular version. But I like that they went ahead and they gave us an extra. Love the wash in that, the dings. It looks really cool. It's also on a Velcro system as well. For those of you interested, it's not magnetized, it's Velcro. Last but certainly not least, we have the jetpack. Now this one unfortunately doesn't come off, and I don't want to break it. Sort of sound like it was going to break right there. Now the cool thing about this one, they move. They don't move on the 501st. These sort of move. So you have that inward fashion there, as you can see, and then that's as far as it can go out. Like that, like the ventilation system there as well. It looks very rustic too, as you can see. Love the silver wash there. Now, this is not Velcro, nor is it sort of like a hatch situation going on. It's magnetized. It'll click straight to the figure very nicely. Oh, I love this thing. So good. With that jetpack, you get the flame effects, similar to what we've seen from, I guess, War Machine, Punisher. We've seen these several freaking times, right? Now, these aren't going to be as sharp as the rest of them, but you still want to be very careful, though, because some of those parts are a little bit too sharp. So don't let the youngin' get a hold of these, all right? Thank you, Hot Toys. And here we have the helmet for the Deathwatch Mandalorian. It's very Boba Fett-esque style, in my opinion. I don't own a Boba Fett, but after seeing him quite a bit, you know, the ESB Boba Fett, the style looks the same. Now, I'm not saying that it's necessarily a resculpt because it's missing a couple things, right? It's missing the shot in the forehead there. It's missing some scratches and all of that good stuff. So the one cool thing that I want to point out is this turns down. The visor for that comes down, it goes up. However, it doesn't go a full 360, so please don't try to do that. And a couple things to note, turning on the turntable here. The articulation on it is really, really good. So if you want him to look all the way up as if he's in a flight pose, you can do that. If you want him to look down as if he's saving someone, you can do that as well. Neck articulation is beautiful. Now, again, there isn't too much to talk about. You know, we have the ventilation going on in the back there. We've got that awesome reflection going on in the visor. We've already pointed out the, I forget what that's called. It's sort of a viewfinder-like thing that they can sort of turn down and shoot the rocket from their jetpack. Again, the articulation with that is brilliant. So, jumping into the next section here, let's go ahead and talk about the figure overview. They can sort of turn down and shoot the rocket from their jetpack. Again, the articulation with that is brilliant. So, jumping into the next section here, let's go ahead and talk about the figure overview. So we're going to start with the coolest, most weathered boost that I've ever seen in my entire collecting career, if you will, hobby. Anyway, the boots look absolutely fantastic. I love the weathered effect going on there on the heels, on the back. I'm actually okay with the pleather here on the boots. I prefer this over the sort of split cut boot that we see with Beskar Mando and OG Mando. Definitely a big fan of this because the ball joint in that ankle, so freaking good. Big fan of it. I'm okay with that. So moving on up here, we've got these awesome sort of, I guess, kneecap guards, right? Which also come with the, there's sort of like a missile style-esque situation going on there that we saw with Boba. Remember, he used those in The Mandalorian. That was sick. So we got that with this. There isn't anything extra going on there. I believe maybe it's just for an extra protective layer, I guess, for the kneecaps, which Mandalorians need, right? So you can actually take those off. It's on a band. All you have to do is slip that boot off. I did it with the one in the back. I went ahead and slipped it off. It's on this really nice elastic band. And, you know, it's very easy to take off and put back on. So no worries about doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. Next up, we also have the protective, I guess, thigh armor that you have there. We get that extra thigh armor that they added to it, you know, because not all Mandalorians look the same in the Coven, right? And that's why, if you notice in the back there, there's one that looks a little bit different, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So this one is fully kitted out, straight out of the box with everything that he came with. I didn't slip on the extra armor because I like the way this one looked. However, it is Velcro, so you can strip that off and put it back on. But again, be careful. You don't want to be crazy with that Velcro. I feel like over time it might come off. So be careful with that. Moving on up, we have this pleather. It's interesting, right? So we have pleather on the belt. However, this front part, that's actually sculpted plastic. Be careful with that as well. Beautiful pleather going on there. It's like pleather on plastic, I feel. Again, I could be wrong, but so you have the front flap there. That's going to be leather. But I feel like the sides, it's hard to tell if that's pleather or not, personally. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. I could be wrong if you own one. But it's sort of a mix between both, in my opinion. So I do want to turn on the turntable here so that I can let you all see the gun holster because this is amazing. So this is actually pleather, all right? So we've got pleather, we've got a magnetic strap going on there that's going to just straight up connect to it. There is a magnet inside of there. It's not really like Din Djarin's. To me, this is a bit better, especially since it's not going down and it's that hole. And when you put the pistol down there, it's bringing down some of that fabric. You don't have to worry about that because there isn't a hole there. It's stitched all the way around. As we continue to circle around this, again, you see the pleather going on there, which is on a Velcro. We've got that the butt armor. We've got the gauntlet there as well. Super easy to pop all of that stuff off. If you have Din Djarin or if you have the Beskar Mandalorian, you're familiar with how this stuff will work. As we start to ease on up, this is where the body for me gets a little bit restrictive because the figure does come with a fat suit. Unfortunately, the arms can only go up so high. However, if you're one of those folks who enjoy posing like crazy dynamic poses and all that good stuff, you may want to have to take off that extra protective layer, to free that arm up a little bit. You want to kind of break that free because it feels very tight. It's not as bad as Din Djarin's in terms of, the legs and the motion and all of that good stuff, but the arms, way too tight. Way too tight. Now, as we start to ease up a little bit, again, that neck region, if you want to bring that all the way up, you absolutely can. There is no restriction there. If we go ahead and turn on the turntable here, again, those elbows, the double joints in the elbows, amazing. You've got this really hard magnet going on there in the back portion of this chest piece, which a portion of that is pleather. If you notice up here in the shoulder region, that isn't, however. Now, I tried to pull off the shoulder armor there, but it's not coming off. So be careful with that because if you notice in the back there, I do have a sort of custom Deathwatch Mando going on there. Alrighty, so all in all, honestly, it's very difficult to give this a low rating. And the only reason that I'm giving it a low rating is strictly because of it feels very restrictive there in the shoulders. So I'm going to personally give this figure a 4.5 out of 5. Absolutely phenomenal piece. I know it doesn't come with much, but Clone Wars, you're getting Mandalorian all in one. It's a brilliant, brilliant figure. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but pay attention to the details in that Deathwatch armor. I really do feel like OG Mandalorian and a Deathwatch, obviously he's a child of the Watch, right? A lot of that armor that we see on the OG Mandalorian, we actually see from the Deathwatch Mandalorian as well. Note the thigh armor, the chest piece. It's definitely not in the helmet though. Like that's specifically for him. Just like it's their identity, right? So it's different in that respect. But the gauntlets, thigh armor, like I pointed out before, a lot of it is there, and I'm totally okay with it because I think the really cool part about owning a Deathwatch Mandalorian is being able to customize and try different things and maybe even, 3D printing up your own pieces. I think that's what really make this figure shine is the customization options and the overall possibilities. I would love to see someone maybe perhaps do a hooded Deathwatch Mandalorian. I wish I had a hooded something here for that, but unfortunately I don't. I hope you all definitely pick up Deathwatch Mandalorian. He is an awesome figure. I hope you all don't sleep on this. I really do feel like we're going to see more of that, more of Din Djarin's history through the next season, maybe in like flashbacks like we saw before. Don't sleep on it. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, thumbs up, all that good stuff for us. It helps a lot. And we'll catch you all on the flippity flop.